A very good morning to you all. Welcome to Mallikarjun School, Champawat. This is our school boundary, surrounded from all sides. This is our entrance gate. This is the main gate of the school, and from here we are entering and exiting. This is our school building. This is our computer lab. The size of computer lab is 608 square feet. That is 19 by 32 square feet. This is our physics lab. The size of physics lab is 600 square feet, that is 20 by 30 square feet. This is our chemistry lab. The size of chemistry lab is 600 square feet, that is 20 by 30 square feet. This is our biology lab. The size of biology lab is 600 square feet, that is 20 by 30 square feet. This is our math lab. The size of math lab is 525 square feet, that is 25 by 21 square feet. The size of school library is 1204 square feet, that is 28 by 43 square feet. This is our classroom. This is class 9, section A. The size of this classroom is 525 square feet, that is 25 by 21 square feet. Now come to the next class, that is classroom, class 9, section B. The size of this classroom is 525 square feet, that is 25 by 21 square feet. This is our washroom, boys, for junior boys. Here 4 urinals are there and there is a partition between them. This is a running water, hand wash, and here are 2 toilets. This is a drinking water facilities for junior students, and this is washroom for junior girls. This is for hand wash. This is toilet. There are 3 toilets. And here is a dustbin inside the washroom. This is RO drinking water for junior students. RO drinking water facilities for senior students. And this is washroom for senior girls. This is a hand wash for washing hands, and there are 3 toilets. And this is a dustbin for senior girls. This is a temper drinking water facilities for senior students. This is a RO drinking water facilities for senior students. This is washroom for senior boys. Four urinals are there and partitions between them. This is a hand wash for hand wash. These are the urinals and there are 2 toilets. Here is a drinking water facility for senior students, and this is RO drinking water facility. This is a washroom for senior girls. This is for hand wash. There are 3 toilets are there. And this is dustbin inside the washroom. This is an RO drinking water facilities for senior students. This is a washroom for senior boys. Here 4 urinals are there and there is a partition between each of them. This is for hand wash. And there are 2 toilets.
Good morning students. Today we will discuss our topic in class 11, that is motion in a straight line. So we will start topic from rest. What is the meaning of rest? Rest means suppose an object change their position with respect to the time, and with respect to the other object is known as rest. It means suppose an object initially at point A. Suppose an object initially at point A. Suppose the object does not change their position with respect to the time or with respect to the other object, then the object is said to be in rest. For example, book placed on the table, that is. And the second is motion. Motion means suppose an object change their position with respect to the other object with respect to the time. For example, suppose an object initially at point A and it change their position from A to B. After some time it reaches the at point B. So it means object change their position from A to B. It means object is in motion. Motion means when an object change their position with respect to the time or with respect to the other object, then the object said to be is in motion. And the next is types of motion. There are 3 types of motions: linear motions, circular motion and vibratory motion. There are 3 types of motion. First is linear motion and second is circular motion and third is vibratory motion. Linear motion means suppose an object moving in a straight object is starting from point A and after some time it reaches the at point B and object moving in a straight path. So then the motion of the object is known as linear motion. For example, car moving on a straight road. And second is circular motion. So in circular motion, when object moving along a circular path, then the motion of the object is known as circular motion. For example, Earth revolves around the sun or all planets revolves around the sun. So this is the circular motion. And last is vibratory motion. Vibratory motion means to and fro motion of the object, back and forth motion of the object is known as vibratory motion. For example, motion of the simple pendulum. When a ball moves about a fixed point, then the motion of the ball is known as vibratory motion. In vibratory motion means object moving about a fixed point. Means to and fro motion, back and forth motion. Examples of vibratory motion means motion of a simple pendulum and the motion of the tuning fork. And the next is nature of the motion. There are two types of nature, uniform motion and non-uniform motion. In uniform motion means when an object change the position, it covered equal distance in equal interval of time, then the object moving in a uniform motion. And in non-uniform motions, object covered equal distance but unequal interval of time. That is the non-uniform motion overall. Thank you.
Good morning, students of class 11th. Today we are going to discuss the topic dual nature of matter of chapter 2, the structure of atom. In this topic we will discuss that matter shows dual nature. It means that it will behave like particles as well as waves. In earlier theories we have discussed that light has wave nature because the light shows those properties which are only shown by waves like refraction, reflection, diffraction, interference. But later we have some another theories like black body radiation, like photoelectric effect. With the help of these theories, we have proved that light has dual nature. It means it will behave like particles as well as like waves. But now we will derive an expression that will prove that not only light, every matter, every particle, every matter has dual nature. So today we are going to discuss de Broglie equation related to dual nature of matter. De Broglie equation. De Broglie, with the help of Einstein and with the help of Planck's quantum theory, proposed a relation between a wavelength and mass of the matter. First, according to Einstein gave a relation by which we can convert mass into energy and energy into mass. Interconversion of mass and energy, and that equation is E equal to mc square. So this equation 1, this equation E is energy, m is the mass of matter, and this is the speed of light. And we know this is according to Einstein. According to Einstein. But now according to Planck's quantum theory, E equal to actually, because Planck proved that light comes in the form of small packets of energy. That packets are called photon. and energy of this photon is given by equal to h nu by isolation, where h is Planck constant and is the frequency of that photon particle. Okay, call this equation 2. Now I am going to combine these two equations. Combining equation 1 and 2, we have mc square equal to h nu, because left hand side is equal, so both hands right hand side will also be equal. So mc square equal to h nu, and you know that nu equal to c over lambda, speed of light, relation between u and lambda. So mc square equal to h into, substituting this value of nu here, c upon lambda, cancelling c on both sides, we have lambda equal to h upon mc. This is the relation of wavelength of matter and mass of matter, lambda equal to h upon mc. But this equation belongs to light only, because here we have speed of light, and if we will substitute the speed of light by wavelength, speed of particle, then we have lambda equal to h upon mv, and we know that mass into velocity is called momentum. So I will put p in place of mv, it is mass and velocity equal to momentum. So this is the relation between mass and wavelength of matter. With the help of this relation, de Broglie proved that every particle, every matter has B-origin, and we can also find out the wavelength of matter by this formula. Okay.
Good morning, students. As you have learned about the living and non-living things in the diversity word in your previous classes, here we will discuss in class 11th. Your first chapter is diversity in the living world. Here two words are there: diversity and living. You know about diversity. In our earth, various species are present and types of species are present which are different from one another. As we discussed, in our earth, various flora and fauna species are there which are different from one another by their morphological way or their होगा कि आपकी जो डेवलपमेंट है वो प्रोसेस भी इंक्रीज होते जा रही है, आपकी सोचने की, आपकी समझने की जो चीज़ें हैं वो भी इंक्रीज होते जा रही है, आप अपने अकॉर्डिंग अपने थॉट्स को एक्सप्रेस कर पा रहे हैं।
Good morning students. In class 11, business studies, the first chapter is nature and purpose of business. So first we will discuss what do you mean by business. Business is an economic activity. Business is an economic activity. So business is an economic activity. So at first you have to know what do you mean by economic activity. There are two types of activities, that is economic and non-economic activity. Economic and non-economic and non-economic activity. So, activities which are undertaken to earn a livelihood, that is known as economic activity. For example, the teacher and the business, the profession, the employment, these are considered the economic activity. Under economic activity, first one is business, then profession, then employment. This three comes under the economic activity, and non-economic activity are those activities which only satisfy the psychological needs. For example, a teacher teaches her children, your mother is cooking food for you. This all comes under the non-economic activity, which is non-profit motive. And all the economic activities, the first is business. Business is an economic activity which includes purchasing, selling, and exchanging of goods and services with the aim to earn profit. The profit is the main motive of business, and along with the profit, the customer satisfaction also is very important. Professional means a specialized skills or knowledge. Example, lawyer, doctor, engineer. This comes under the profession. And under employment means the working for others, and in return they will get some remuneration or salary. Good morning, students. In class 11, in economics, there are two parts, that is introductory microeconomics and statistics for economics. So today we will discuss the first part, that is economics. Economy, first we will know the meaning of economy. And economy is a system which provides people the means to work and earn a living. Economy क्या है? Economy एक system है जो क्या provide कराती है people the means to work. कहीं पर भी आप वर्क में जाएंगे या employment या profession या business जो भी होगा and earn a living. So this is called the economy. And the microeconomics, the subject is the microeconomics. So micro means what? The word micro is derived from a Greek word microeconomics. That is derived from a Greek word micros. Micros, which means small. So microeconomics, the word micro is derived from a Greek word micros, which means small. So in microeconomics we will discuss about the individual behavior, individual supply, individual demand, all the individual we are discussing under the microeconomics. And there is one important, why we study the microeconomics? Because of a single word, that is the scarcity. Scarcity means the limitation of supply in relation to the demand. So in this, there is an economic problem. Economic problems are there. Economic problems. So what are the economic problems? First economic problem is what to produce. Second is how to produce. And third one is for whom to produce. So these are the three economic problems or three central problems of an economy. That is, first one is what to produce. What to produce means what product to be produced and in what quantity that is produced. Second one is how to produce. In how to produce there are two techniques of production, that is LIT and CIT, labor intensive technique and capital intensive technique. And third point is for whom to produce. For whom to produce in this, it is very difficult to select the category of the people. That is, some are poor, some are rich. So the product which will be produced, that is for whom to produce.
विद्यार्थियों, कक्षा 11 में आप सभी विद्यार्थियों का स्वागत है। मैं आपका हिंदी टीचर विपिन मुरेगा। आप लोगों को पहले दिन ही मैं आपको आपकी जो पाठ्यक्रम की पुस्तकें हैं उनके बारे में आपको बताऊंगा। यहाँ आपकी 3 पुस्तक होंगी। पहले जो है आरोह, उसमें 2 भाग होंगे, एक काव्य का और दूसरा गद्य का। ठीक है, तो दूसरी आपकी जो किताब है उसका नाम वितान है, उसमें आपकी कहानियों का संग्रह है, तो आप वितान के अंदर है। उसके बाद आपको व्याकरण का जो भाग है, यहाँ रचना और अभिव्यक्ति के जरिए आपको पढ़ाया जाएगा। इसकी कोई अलग से किताब नहीं है, लेकिन इसके जो एवज में कई सारी ऐसी पुस्तकें आपको बाजार में मिल जाएंगी जिसमें मौखिक अभिव्यक्ति और रचना की बात होती है। तो और संचार माध्यम भी, जनसंचार जो माध्यम है उसके बारे में भी इस किताब के तहत पढ़ाया जाएगा। आज आपकी पहले दिन की क्लास है, तो मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ कि आपको मैं जो आपकी किताब विज्ञान है उसका उसका पहला जो पाठ है जिसका नाम है भारतीय गायिकाओं में बेजोड़ लता मंगेशकर। ठीक है, ये पाठ मैं आज आपको पढ़ाने जा रहा हूँ। भारतीय गायिकाओं में बेजोड़, गायिकाओं में बेजोड़ लता मंगेशकर। बेजोड़ लता मंगेशकर, लता मंगेशकर, मंगेशकर। ठीक है, जो आपका पहला जो पाठ है उसका नाम है भारतीय गायकों में बेजोड़ लता मंगेशकर। और इस पाठ को जो लिखा है वो जो प्रसिद्ध शास्त्रीय संगीत और शास्त्रीय गायक है कुमार गंधर्व, इन्होंने लिखा है कुमार गंधर्व जी। ठीक है, संगीत के क्षेत्र में कुमार गंधर्व जो भारतीय साहित्यिक संगीत है, जो सांस्कृतिक संगीत है उसके अगवा है। तो कुमार गंधर्व जी ने लता मंगेशकर के बारे में लिखा है। पहले ही उन्होंने बता दिया है कि जो कुमार गंधर्व जी हैं वो शास्त्रीय संगीतकार हैं और खुद भी एक बहुत कुशल संगीत गायक है। तो लता मंगेशकर के बारे में पहले ही उन्होंने बताया। इस पाठ के अंतर्गत आप सिर्फ ये पढ़ेंगे कि लता मंगेशकर का जन्म कैसा हुआ, कैसे हुआ था, कैसे उनकी संगीत की शिक्षा हुई, किस कारण वो संगीत के जो है बॉलीवुड सिनेमा के उन्होंने पार्श्व गायन किया, किस तरह वो मतलब जब उनको आजीविका का संकट आया था किस तरह उन्होंने जो है अपने आप को जो है लोगों के सामने प्रस्तुत किया और किस तरह पहले वो किस तरह शर्मीली थी और क्या कारण था कि छोटी सी उम्र से ही उन्होंने चित्रपट संगीत गाया, गायिका के रूप में अपनी पहचान बनाई। तो बात करते हैं लता मंगेशकर की। ठीक है, तो लता मंगेशकर अपने जमाने के मशहूर जो रंगमंच के जो आर्टिस्ट थे, रंगमंच के कलाकार थे, उनकी 5 जो बच्चे थे उनमें सबसे बड़ी थी। और जब वो महज 4 वर्ष की थी तो उनके पिता का जो है स्वर्गवास हो गया था, क्योंकि उस समय एक फिल्म कंपनी हुआ करती थी जिसके निर्माता थे विनायक राव। ठीक है, तो ये विनायक राव जो थे ये जो आगे चल के मशहूर अभिनेत्री हुई थी नंदा कर्नाटक की, उनके पिता थे और लता मंगेशकर के जो पिता थे दीनानाथ मंगेशकर, उनकी बहुत अच्छे दोस्त थे, तो उन्होंने लता के परिवार को सहारा दिया। 4 वर्ष की लता हो गया।
Good morning class. So welcome to class 11th. Now as you all know, I will teach you English. Okay? If you don't know, I am telling you, in English we are having 2 books. First of all, let us have a look. Here, English, we are having 2 books. First is Onville and second is Snapshots. Right? Now, in this, in Onville, we are having 2 sections, prose and poetry. Now, in grammar portion, grammar is also divided in 3 parts, where we are having reading, thereafter you are having writing, and thereafter you are having your general grammar. In reading, as you all know, you are given with unseen passages, okay, and according to it you have to answer. In writing, we will see this here, notices, report writing, article writing, posthumously, etc. And in grammar, we are having determiners, modals, subject verb element, active passive voice, etc. So this is our first class. Now let us start with our first section on. Today we will do our first chapter from our own will, and that is what? The portrait of a lady. It is, we can say, in the form of autobiography. By whom? Khushwant Singh. As we all know, we are having a close relationship with someone in our family. Most probably, if we are living in a joint family, we are having close relationship with our grandparents. So it is a story of Khushwant Singh, and it is depicting a close relationship with whom? With his grandmother. It is the story when he was left alone with his grandmother and his parents. Live for what? A city. For any reason. Now, when he was staying with his grandmother, his life was different. He daily used to go to school, which is near to, or we can say, which was near to the temple. And daily he used to go with his grandmother to temple for what? School. And they were having a very close relationship, and they were sharing everything, whether it is prayer, whether it is part of learning, or how they are spending their day. But afterwards, life changes. How it changes? When his father took both of them to city. Now, as we all know, whenever we are going or moving to city, our life became somewhat different. So, same changes he came or he faced in his life.
Good morning, students. Myself is Pushpa Samrala. Today I am teaching you political science. In the political science, we have 2 books. One is Constitution and second one is Political Theory. Okay? Second one is the Political Theory, in which we discuss about the secularism, equality, rights. Why do we need all these things? We all discuss in the Political Theory, and in the first book we discuss about the Constitution. Constitution. You know about the Constitution. Why do we need a Constitution? Constitution meaning such type of rules and regulation by which we can govern the country, like an institution, like our institution. If there is no rules and regulation, how can the institution can easily run? It can't be run in proper way. Okay, suppose students come in their own time, and there is no period, nothing else. Then what? It is a school? No, this is not a school. This is not an institution. So, if it is a school, then we have some rules and regulation that is very necessary to run that institution. Okay? Same like that. Constitution. Constitution means a set of rules and regulation for their country. Okay? जैसे like this. Suppose India constitution. Why do we need a constitution means? Why do we need a constitution? Okay, हमें क्यों जरूरत है? Because by this way we feel that we belong to such a independent country. Independent, you know about independent? India isn't, when India got freedom, that time we are very curious how we run our country, how we make rules and regulation for all this one, how we do other things. As you know that Britishers made their own rule and regulation for that time, made their own rule and regulation for their country. But when we got freedom, that time we want such rules and regulation by which we can govern the proper way. Okay? Then we make such type of constitution. Okay? Second.
Good morning, students. So the first chapter of class 11 is set. So basically what you said is when you find collection of objects or elements. Means if we are defining any object or any element which is well defined by analysis. For example, if I said top 3 batsmen of India as per BCCI rankings. So this is a set. Why? Because according to BCCI, there will be 3 top ranked batsmen. There will be, and so it is a well-defined object, or we could say 3 persons in a set. But if we just say that 3 batsmen, 3 top batsmen of India. In this case, this is not a set. Why? Because it is not defined by any exact function, any exact BCCI, ICC, whatever. We could say, as per me, 3 top batsmen could be anyone, Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli, or KL Rahul. But as per you, it could be anyone, any 3 different persons. It could be Virendra Sehwag, Rahul Dravid, and let's say Sachin Tendulkar. So these rankings are different by different persons. But this is a ranking which is given by BCCI. So that means this example is an example of set, because it is a collection of element, object or data subject. In this case, it is a collection of 3 batsmen, which are the top 3 batsmen as per our BCCI ranking. But in this case, this is not defined by any fixed committee or anyone else. It is varied in different persons and different places. Okay, so this is about set.